down far faster than those saplings are going to grow. So it's nice that they're planting the saplings, it's important that they plant the saplings, but it can't exactly compensate for cutting down the established trees. How many of you have heard of the Chipko movement? Okay, this is an old story, this deforestation story. One of the things I mentioned in that article in the Caravan on Jaira Ramesh is that there's this very cozy relationship between the big business groups, both Indian and foreign, and the government. And the business groups tend to treat the Indian government as a rubber stamp and a goodie bag of natural resources. You want land? Have it. You want water? Have it. You want minerals? Take. Oh, there's some people there? Okay. Here's some money, get lost, right? This seems to be the way things are going, and the controversies around the Land Sealing Act and all of that, I'm sure you've all been following this, right? These are really big questions in terms of the direction of India's development. And the deforestation is part of that. There's so much corruption. What have been the scandals in the last 6 months? Commonwealth Games, then 2G, and then that thing in Maharashtra with the housing complex. Adarsh complex. What will be next, right? So this is a big problem. Big problem. Yep.
Ma'am, you have been to different places and worked with different organizations. So what do you think, where does Indian journalism stand?
Indian journalism is in a transition period. You had the old print journalism tradition with some really stalwart editors and journalists and newspapers that were very serious. In the Times of India, as it was 20 years ago, it was a very serious newspaper. That's sort of given way more and more to page 3-itis, right? You're familiar with that trend, right? It's more yellow journalism, sting operations, sensational stuff, and a very disturbing trend of people buying the news. You want your company in the news, you want yourself in the news, there's a price on it. And this has all been well documented. There have been articles written on this. Okay? And then the print journalism, the broadcast journalism side as well, we actually didn't get into it, and I don't think we have time today, but I'm sure you'll be taking it up with your students, or you may have already taken up this topic that we addressed when we last met in New York, Todd, which was this competition of very eager but not necessarily well-trained or seasoned broadcast journalists to be the first on the scene, get the story. And this is what caused this unfortunate situation in the Taj Hotel, where you had a young journalist who got this minister on the phone, my God, and he was in there. Where are you? What is your precise location, sir? And the minister is stupid, he says, we are located on the 2nd floor in room, blah, 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 And of course, who is watching the news? I'm watching the news, you're watching the news. Lashkar-e-Taiba is also watching the news, right? And so the terrorists were able to go right there. So this kind of inexperience, eagerness to get the scoop, these things, it's part of, I think, a young and eager and growing media landscape. It also has to be said that the Western media may be more sophisticated, may be more professionalized, but they're no less competitive and they're no less interested in getting that scoop. If CNN is going up against BBC World or Al Jazeera, there's a very competitive thing to get the scoop.